Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to the farm. This is Lane. Lane has brought a cool toy for us here on the farm. We purchased this from Lane for, was it 2,500 bucks?
I think so.
Yep, 2,500 bucks. This is an old rotary mill. So today we're gonna unload this rotary mill. Basically the whole video is just gonna be unloading it. That's the power unit. This is parts of the mill, other parts of the mill. There's all sorts of fun stuff. So we're gonna go through all the different parts of the mill with you real quick after we get it unloaded and have a little bit of fun. Lane hit me up this morning bright and early.
Yep.
And caught me off guard. So we got to throw the pallet forks on the skid steer and get busy unloading this and give you guys a little tour of the rotary sawmill that we're going to have here on the Stoney Ridge farm. All right. Alright guys, you notice the tracks are off the skid loader. We got new tires and I've got to take this to my dad's house and help him out getting some trees out of the fields down at his farm. So we got new tires on the skid loader. We're going to leave the tracks off for a little while because we simply don't need them this time of year. In the winter time when it's really muddy, that's when we need our tracks, when we need some traction or when we're working on a steep grade. So I've got the tracks laid out right here and we'll show you how we put them back on the loader right here. Those are grouser tracks. So we're just going to unload this real quick, then me and Lane will go through all the parts of it and tell you exactly what it is. And I've got to find a place to put this thing temporarily until we can get a shed big enough to put this thing underneath and start sawing our own lumber. Good stuff. The sun's bright this morning, man. So I'm gonna get Lane to walk us through all these pieces right here. Okay, so there's 3 main pieces and there's more pieces to come, right?
It is, sure is.
All right, so we'll turn the camera on to Lane.
So what we got today is we got a double aught frick. We've got a 12-foot carriage. This is what the log will actually ride on as it goes by the big blade that you see a lot of times at a big mill. This carriage is 12 foot long. My carriage in my house is like 12 foot. Right here are your head blocks. This is basically what your log will sit against and your cant when you get to sawing. This right here is the ratchet mechanism that advances each head block to the saw. So basically, when you're sawing, you ratchet this over and you make 1, 2, 3, 4-inch boards, however, whatever you decide that you're gonna saw for that day. And this this thing rides on like a little railroad track. You'll see it here in just a little bit. There's a big cable that pulls this carriage all the way down the track, and we'll go over here and talk a little bit about the saw box. So this right here is our saw box. This is where the sawyer will stand. Will be right here. This is the lever that pulls. There's a drum that goes over here and ties to that carriage that we just talked about, and it pulls the log back and forwards right here in front of this saw. Right here is where your saw blade goes to, and this anywhere from 36 to 48. Some of them have 56 and 60-inch blades on them. Over here is where your drive pulley will go. So there'll be a great big pulley over here that will go to your power unit, which we will discuss in just a little bit. A lot of these old-time sawmills like this have wood on them, and the wood kind of deteriorates over years, and you have to call restocking them. And you basically tear everything out, put all fresh wood in, and go on about your business. But this one, the saw box has already been turned over to steel, so you shouldn't have to worry about anything rotten or giving. I'm having a lot of problems now with my wooden saw box will be moving and kind of swells up when it gets wet, shrinks when it dries. So this you don't have to worry about. All right, talk about the power unit over here. This is the guts of the mill. So this right here is our power unit for this mill. A lot of people prefer a diesel motor. However, this is what this mill always ran on, was a gasoline motor. It's a old industrial Ford motor, good motor. Right here is your pulley. This will help drive the big pulley that is on the saw box. Over here we got the hand clutch that engages your pulley system. You got your air filter here. Right here is your throttle. You got a tachometer which tells you how fast your motor is turning, because you need to know that, because when the blade is moving at a certain RPMs, it saws better, and it's what you call standing up. The blade will actually stand up on its own. A blade has a little dish in it, and when you get it up to RPMs, the blade will actually, instead of running like this, it will actually stand up straight and run true. I don't know when this mill was made, because I couldn't really have a tag or anything on it, but I'm gonna guess it was probably from the 60s, maybe a little bit before then. But it's been some modifications done to it. A lot of the bearings are all roller bearings now, where they used to be Babbitt bearings on all the really old mills. But this should be a really good mill.
So guys, no amount of boredom on the farm with social distancing. We're a little too close though, man. We better back off. Lane, air shake. Thanks a lot for bringing that here, man. Yep. I appreciate it. Guys, stick around. We're gonna set this up by the side of the road here until we can get all the parts. There's still more parts for me to come and get, right?
It sure is.
And we're also getting a grain mill from you.
It's a hammer mill.
A hammer mill that'll hook to the old Farmall tractor, right?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. So we'll be getting that pretty soon, and we're probably going to buy most of our grain from Lane this year. Lane has basically an all organic operation going on right now.
Well, it's not all organic yet, but we're working on it.
Okay, so he raises his own grain. He's about 20-something minutes away from me, so I can go buy my own grain straight from the farmer. Know your farmer, guys. Pretty cool stuff. So we'll see you in just a second. We'll get this thing moved to the place where it's going to live permanently. All right, folks, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Is this a big pile of scrap iron, or is this something that's going to be really cool? I tell you what, that skid loader has been an indispensable unit to have here on the farm. Super duper awesome. So 2,500 bucks is what we paid for this critter. We've got to build a building up here, a sawmill building, similar to what Eustace Conway has at his place at Turtle Island. So I think we showed the sawmill when we were out there. I'll post a link to the video when we were up at Eustace's place, but that's what this is for. Not real sure about this little Ford industrial engine. I do know that these engines will run forever. So this was an engine off an old Asflund chipper. That's what it's from. And let's see if it has an hour meter on there. Ooh, 2,200 hours. 2,200 hours is probably nothing on that engine right there. So that's the power unit. This is the blade area, what the power unit hooks to, and this is the slide that will slide the logs back and forth for the rotary mill. So we've got a lot of fun to have. This just adds another cool dynamic here to the Stoney Ridge farm. We'll be able to mill our own lumber in a couple years and build barns and structures all over the farm. I'm super excited, guys, and we'll be able to make a little bit of side money, which is always good. Guys, thanks a lot for joining me here on the Stoney Ridge farm today. Please pound that like button, jump in, subscribe to the channel. We got a lot more fun to have here on the farm. All right?
Well, come on down to the Stoney Ridge, bring your wife and bring your